3 minutes, everyone, so we're going to make a start. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm David Scott, and I look after the commercial team here at Open Destinations, and I'm joined by John Davis, our CTO, and Phil Napleton, our COO. We have lots and lots to discuss and cover and demo today, particularly with our latest release of Travel Studio, Sunstone, now available for both our new and existing customers. But before we dive into the demo, let me just quickly run through our agenda for today. So firstly, we've got a little bit of housekeeping, and then John will give an introduction to Open Destinations and share some insights and thoughts on where we see travel going. Following that, Phil will give you all a quick overview of Sunstone. So we're going to highlight a number of areas where we've enhanced the user interface and also show you some functionality as well. And then finally, if we've got time, we'll close and we'll have a very quick Q&A as well. So on the housekeeping side of things, as with most webinars, we've disabled audio and video for all of you who've joined us here today. But please do ask us questions. So you can add questions straight into the chat, and we'll look to try and answer as many of those as we can at the end of this webinar. You'll also get the slides by email in the next couple of days, and we're also going to share a survey as well. So if you've got a couple of minutes, please give us your feedback as well. Let me now hand over to John.
Thanks, David. Good afternoon, everyone. So our CEO, Kevin O'Sullivan, founded the company some 25 years or so ago now, and we've grown alongside our customer success ever since. In that time, we've delivered over 100 successful implementations across a myriad of travel businesses, and formed some really long-standing partnerships with numbers of our customers. Today, we have a team of over 600 travel technology experts spread across our offices in London and Goa. And as part of that, we have an offshore development team of some 250 or so technologists. So what does the Open Destinations ecosystem look like today? So we have a truly global customer footprint. So we have customers in 35 countries across the world, from Peru to Australia. We have over 10,000 users logging into our platforms every day. And on Travel Studio alone, that equates to about 500 million searches per day. We're acutely aware that our products are a critical part of our customers' operations. And so as part of our service, we provide 24/7 responsive support, 52 weeks of the year. So our products are applicable to and used by a whole range of travel companies, and they include specialist tour operators, so both tailor-made and groups, inbound destination management companies, and both regional and luxury rail operators. I thought it would be helpful just to spend a couple of minutes to touch on some of the trends that we're seeing amongst our customers and indeed beyond. So we're definitely seeing a shift to multi-distribution models, and that's really driving the need both for seamless omni-channel experiences and then also kind of always-on systems and applications. We're seeing changes in contracting and purchasing, and again, that's driving the need for a very rich and agile integration, both to supplier systems and with customers. We're seeing increasing emphasis on better understanding customers, on businesses better understanding their customers. And that's really driving a need for both a deeper CRM capability, which Phil will touch on later, but also underpinning that by strong integration to popular CRM systems like Salesforce, for example. We're increasingly seeing companies looking to platforms that support the end-to-end customer journey. And that's really where the depth and breadth of Travel Studio's functionality in that SaaS model really comes to the fore. Customers, I think, are increasingly trying to balance the value of personalization against the GDPR compliance obligations, and that's becoming increasingly challenging. And one of the reasons why we're seeing a real shift to fully hosted solutions. So our partnership with Microsoft Azure Cloud offers us that flexibility and that protection that customers need in order to meet those challenging demands. Finally, I guess there's definitely a clear push for self-service and frictionless online solutions. And we continue to invest really heavily in the evolution of both our product interface or the UI, and indeed that seamless transition from customers' online and offline journeys. So how is our technology evolving to support those sort of current and future demands of the market? I'm going to keep this pretty brief because Phil will share some real examples on this in a few minutes. But our focus is very much on continually improving the user interface and optimizing the user interface, whether that's making it more simple, more intuitive, more efficient and more performant, both for our customers and then their customers' needs. We're very focused on delivering both beautiful and functionally rich customer documentation and online web content, improving the productivity of our customers' staff, whether that's through the improved user interface that we've talked about, for example, something like drag and drop itineraries, and then moving to an entirely modular ecosystem. So that allows us to make changes much more quickly, bring new features and functions to the market more quickly and more reliably, but importantly for our customers to reduce the overhead of upgrading and testing those new functions and features. And then finally, for me, I guess the other clear trend that we're seeing is companies are increasingly looking for a fully hosted SaaS solution when they're going to market for software products. 5-10 years ago, I can remember that move to cloud was driven almost entirely by cost saving, so the desire to move away from maintaining costly data centers. But what we're seeing now is that's much more so about driving additional business value. So whether that's improved resilience, improved performance, improved security, it's really about differentiating the services that our customers then deliver on to their customers. And our partnership with Microsoft Azure allows us to provide that functionality and that protection to our customers. And then increasingly, therefore, we're seeing customers take Travel Studio and our other products in a fully hosted SaaS model. So I think I'll draw to a close there. With that, I'll hand over to Phil to take you through some of the key features of the product. Phil?
Great. Yeah, just turning everything on. It's just a little delay there from Teams. Thanks, John. So if we just move on in the slides there, guys. Okay, so thanks for joining us today, and thanks, John, for the background on where we've been going. I mean, so today's session is really focused on Sunstone, which is our latest version of Travel Studio that's been recently released. We've really set out some key objectives for Sunstone for us, for ourselves. One of the main things that we've done with it is to make sure that we are consolidating all of the functionality that we built over the previous versions of the system into the latest version, so that it brings together everything that we've been working on over recent times. But in addition to that consolidation, what we've done is really try and start rebuilding areas of the application. So Travel Studio has been in the marketplace for some time. It's used by lots of tour operators to manage their business and manage their reservation and contracting process. And it's broken down into some fairly sort of logical, discrete areas, which we could talk about in terms of customer management, contract management, product management, reservations and operations. And really what we've done with Sunstone is start breaking down our application into areas in order to be able to rebuild both the business logic and the user interface. So we've gone through an extensive exercise of breaking down our functionality, documenting it through business analysis, documenting all of the user stories, but crucially not changing our data structures so that it's a seamless migration for our existing customers to move to Sunstone. There's no data re-entry. There's no data migration scripting required. We're able to take existing versions of Travel Studio and upgrade them to Sunstone, as well as obviously onboard new customers directly to Sunstone. But we've been able to break down that application and then rebuild key areas so that the business logic is completely restructured and moved into more scalable, most recent kind of technology areas, as well as also take a opportunity to redesign and rebuild our user interfaces. So that's really why we've done it. Also talking about why it allows us to modularize the delivery. So rather than the entire application needing to be upgraded at one go, we can upgrade areas, for example, release new features purely in our CRM part of the system or purely in the contracting part of the system, and allow people to upgrade those areas without having to actually go through a upgrade process for the entire application stack. So it's making us more nimble. It's increasing our ability to deliver things, and it's decreasing the amount of time that you, our customers, need to spend testing things in order to be able to get the benefits of those features. Moving on a slide to what we've done. As I say, we've really worked on that responsive UI. So we're, for anyone technical on the call, it's an Angular UI. It reacts faster. It resizes itself better. It's designed to load extremely quickly. So the functionality is not, no functionality is lost. In fact, we're adding functionality, but yet at the same time, the whole thing runs a lot faster. And we've basically built it inside that modular delivery so that we're able to deliver the functionality out to you on a much faster basis without having to do a massive upgrade. And then scalable. So a lot of our customers are working out volume. Some of them obviously have many hundreds of thousands of hits a day or searches a day going through the system. So the ability of our APIs and our application to be able to scale to do that is something that's always been important to us. But with the technology rebuild, these key areas of the system are even more scalable, so that we're able to deliver it in the cloud and grow out the servers and grow out the APIs in the way they scale as we go. Thanks, guys. I think the next stage is for me to just change screens. So I'm just going to share up a screen here to give you a opportunity to have a look at the actual system as in real time here. Like, I think that's now shared. Give me the thumbs up, guys, if we can see a screen. Great, thank you. All right, so what you're looking at now on screen is a version of Travel Studio running. Obviously, it's a browser-based system. This is Sunstone, and it's when you first log into the system, a lot of people who are on the call, maybe you're familiar with Travel Studio, but I'll give a quick navigational overview for people who are not. You've got a menu which pops out here, which is going to present all of the different areas of the system. There's navigational areas across the top here to search for people, for functions, for bookings. A task flow, workflow part of the system where we're able to both create automatic objects which are going to appear for you based upon how system is configured and what things need to be displayed, as well as people queuing up or tasking each other to do things on bookings and contracts and people's records as you go. And then a homepage area here where different objects are able to pop out. You can move things around and really lay out the system according to different user groups and how people want to be able to see things and work with the system. So some of this stuff has obviously been in the system previously, but as I mentioned before, part of the Sunstone objective for us is to consolidate all of the changes that we've been making over recent times into one version and provide that application centralization for you all. That said, the key areas that I've been mentioning when we've been doing the refactoring, if I start giving you some examples of that and we move into an area of the system called service management. So services in the Travel Studio world are all of your individual products. Those can be hotels, be restaurants, be guides, coaches, and you've got the ability to configure as many of those different product types as you want. We can obviously start quickly searching for something in here, and as soon as we start filling things in, all the different matching products might pop up for us. Or if we want to, we can drill down to a more granular search area where we can start searching for things across a range of text strings or service types, locations. So I can start typing in Dubai, and that's going to match everything up for me. And when I do a search, that's going to limit it to items with Burr and in Dubai. So you've got like a range of different features, and if I open that back up again, you'll obviously see that we can see all of the different items that appear in here. If I then drill down to one of these services, this is a product loading or a contracts area where you're able to maintain content as contracts, allocations, all the different things that you need to know about these products that you have in the system. It's an area of the system which is allowing you to both fully load all of the products that you contract directly yourselves, as well as get visibility of any imported data from third-party supplier systems that you might be integrated with in your Travel Studio system. So whether it could be hotel beds or Expedia content or content that you put there yourself. You'll start to see some of the new interfaces that we've been building and releasing with Sunstone here, where you have an area on the left here to tell you which record you're looking at, and you can see here an image of the Burj Al Arab Hotel in Jumeirah. We've got calls to action, so you can immediately add notes and tasks, queue up things to remind people to do things, etc. over here. Get at basic information about the product, see when it was built and when it was last amended within the system down here, and also shrink this down. So if you don't want to see that menu bar, you can just pop it down and get rid of it or bring it back. And then we're breaking down all of the different features that you've been able to see over time. If you are an existing Travel Studio user, you'll recognize a lot of this stuff. But even if you're not, hopefully it'll make sense to you in terms of the kinds of areas of functionality. In the homepage, you've also got some high-level information. So part of the Sunstone approach is to start trying to draw together key bits of information that you would like to see when you first enter one of the major entities in the system. In this case, a hotel. So what are my upcoming bookings? What are my volumes? Whereabouts is it located? So whereabouts are my longitude and latitudes of actually it's giving you a Google map and showing you where it actually is located. What special offers have I got coming up? What are the most booked room types in this situation? So you can actually sort of get an idea about what kind of volumes have you got coming through. And obviously that's then expanded on at the top here with how many requests have you got? When have you next got a booking going there? Have you got any complaints open? Have you got an accrued cost of sale that you are expecting to pay out to this hotel? So drawing together some key bits of information about that product for you. But then we start breaking down, and you'll see if I start clicking around some of these screens, you'll get some idea about how we've been working on an improved user interface. And you'll also see that these screens are extremely snappy. No delays in loading anything. The information is designed to appear within milliseconds to the screen, and give you the breakdown of all of this information, and allow you obviously at any point edit it and then pop out these edit screens on the side. All of this is all subject to user permissions and security, obviously, as you would expect with Travel Studio. You're also able to sort of set up, your star ratings. You can specify classifications, and then when we drill down to the really meaty stuff and we get into where you can actually enter the contracts, you'll see that these contract screens are extremely snappy to load. Hopefully you'll be able to easily identify that we've broken down a contract here into different seasonality. You've got different season date ranges, what days of the week are things available on. What currency you're contracting your individual room types or your extras at the hotel, how are they charged, what kind of meal plans are they, even drilling down to information about like child policies and be able to see individual rates about how kids are going to be charged, what your late checkout policies are, and all that good stuff. The allocation and the inventory management is similarly restructured, so you can see in here how many allocations you've got. You're able to easily drill down to these allocations and even then get down to an individual day-by-day, month-by-month edit grid where you're able to see what you've sold, what's been released, how many bookings have you got coming up. And I should mention that all of this information is all available on Channel Management API as well. So where you are connected with SiteMinder or RateTiger through the system, all of that information is going to be real-time updated inside the system in here as well. You've got the extensive rule library that lives within Travel Studios, also manifested for you in here with the ability to load stay pay offers or rules about child occupancy, early bird booking offers, honeymooners, all that kind of stuff, depending on the kind of contracts that you might be having, would all be shown for you in through here, with the ability to obviously also toggle between your current offers and things which maybe have expired and suppress those from the UI up front when you first come in. So you're only really looking at current data. You've obviously got your content as well, so you can see all the different images that I've got loaded up against this hotel, including the one which is flagged as a default, so that when I do start using this hotel in my proposals, whether that's for an FIT or a group functionality within the system, which one is it going to use by default? So you haven't even got to choose anymore. You've got like defaults that are coming through as part of this process, including the ability to load up images against your individual room types or options extras in the system. We've got the different versions of the itinerary text that you can be loading in the system. So determining what you want the system to respond to on an API, to a website, to a document, depending on the language, the channel, even different brands that you might want to have different product content against. And we've also got the multilingual settings in here as well. So we're now supporting double byte on the technology side. Basically, that means that we can support not just Latin characters like French, English, Spanish, but we're also supporting Arabic, Japanese, every language in terms of being able to load content against your products inside the system as well. So that's a quick look at what a service might look like. We've also, as was mentioned in the introductory slides there, we've been working on the CRM part of the system. So you're now able to come in and you can search for all of the trade clients that you might have. So in this case, I've opened a travel agency, Brownell Travel here, that are in the US. And when you open up one of your client records here, you can see the kind of user interface and the approach that we've developed is consistent between whether you're looking at a product or a client, but obviously the data that you're looking at is a bit different. So we've got the same sort of concept over here with the ability to shrink this banner across with the logo of the agent, whereabouts are they in the world, what their address is, who are the people you know at that particular agency, etc. But over here, rather than sort of product-centric information, we can see their next 10 trips with relevant imagery, descriptions, the values, where are they going, what are their travel dates, all appearing here, and some sort of top-level information about your client here, about what are they average, what is the average value of their bookings, do they have a balance open with you, do they have any lines of credit with you. Key bits of information that in talking to our clients would be relevant to pop up when we first open one of these agency or tour operator records that you might be working with on a B2B basis. What are all the tasks that you've got pending with this client? So, you can obviously open each one of these to see what's been queued up, who's it been sent to. That intersects obviously with our task management process at the top here. So anything that is queued up to you is going to appear for you as part of that presentation layer within the system. Each one of these is a hyperlink, so you could click on one of these and go straight down to it, including seeing what the status is of that particular trip. And obviously, if you want to see the trip details in more in lower level, you can click on the actual trips here and differentiate between any inquiries that they might have with you and any bookings that they've got open with you, and jump straight to those bookings from within this area here. You're also able to sort of maintain key bits of information about this record, who are all the people that work there and what are their job titles, and really manage your relationship with this customer at quite a low level. Now, as well as the B2B side of the system, we've also worked on the direct customer or the B2C part of the CRM presentation within the system and the business logic. I could access this through showing you how our new search bar works, and just start typing part of a record, and that will jump straight down to me in this situation. So now we're looking at a direct customer. This could be a prospect as well as somebody who's traveled with you previously. in this situation, I've traveled previously, so I've got some key bits of information that are filled in for me here. We've got a treatment track that you can define against your clients. So in this case, I'm ringed in gold. So indicate that I've got a status which has been an elevated status set up within the system. Again, you've got calls to action here to actually sort of kick off a booking process or key up a task. You've got the ability to enter the addresses. We've also enhanced the system, so anywhere you enter an address, we've got postcode and address lookup information, which is interfaced with locate. So that's stops you having to type things in if you don't want to, and also prevents data entry errors. If there's people that I'm connected with in the system, they're in here as well, and I can easily jump down to that relationship and see whether they're cohabiting, etc., within the system as well. My booking history laid out for me, just as it was with a B2B record, is all laid across here, and tasks are laid out as well. We're also doing things like tracking communications. So in the case of a direct record here, I can see that I qualified and was sent a campaign, a summer campaign that got sent out in March. And we can also store any feedback that's been stored. Noting whether that was a positive or negative piece of feedback, have an audit log against what happened against that feedback. Did it result in any kind of credit or a refund? And really track that process through here and edit that piece of communication in there as well. And we've also obviously got then details about whereabouts am I located. I can see what my passport information is, any visas I potentially have, which obviously all connects up to the booking workflow process as well. Any flight preferences that might be needing to be pushed through to any flight reservations that I make. I can also track in like what destinations have I said I'm interested in going to, etc., and store that information, as well as the ability to store metadata into the system. So create your own fields, create your own bits of data about a customer, and then track that against them as well. So you can see the bits of information that have been put against me, and then even edit those down and say that, you know, these values can be maintained both on a personal level as well as in a booking level in order to be able to track at quite a low level all the information that you need to know about a particular customer. From within the customer record, so here I am back in my record. I might have me on the phone or be looking at my an email with me, and we start talking about a particular trip that I'm going on. Or an inquiry for a trip, and I can immediately drill straight down to that trip from that customer record, and that's going to launch me in this case into an inquiry record where I can see that I've got a Dubai trip which is open for me. I can pop down into the proposal level and see all of the different versions of the itinerary that might have been sent out to me as a customer. In this case, I've got a version of the itinerary which is going to be staying in Dubai at the Burj Al Arab hotel, the one that we looked at just now in terms of the product loading. We can obviously bring that content to life inside the proposals that you pull together. So in this case, we know that we've got some building works going on at that hotel. Pop that open, see a bit more detail if that's been loaded up for us. And in this case, we can see that we've got a partially built itinerary where we're going to be staying at the Burj Al Arab for 4 nights, and we've got a couple of activities in here. This is our drag and drop inquiry itinerary builder. We can switch between a map view of all of those different products or a list view. We can change and have a look at different types of products. In this case, have a quick look at some activities, and even say that we want to add in a sunset cruise into day 2. So we're going to do a desert camel ride, but we might also want to do a sunset dhow cruise. And you can see how easy it is to bring a product into your itinerary, and it's bringing in any costs and selling prices, and updates your costs and sale prices and your margins on the trip as you go. Once you've got your drag and drop itinerary all built out, obviously any changes in here are saved straight away. They're also available within that customer record that we looked at. You've got the ability to generate proposal documents from within the system, so you can very easily jump to a proposal document. You can create your own library of what these itineraries might look like, what kind of cover art do you want, what logos do you want on here, and really be able to pull together a very sort of customized and high level itinerary customer document. Do the same thing for your supplier documents, And even as part of that process, we can also now provide you with the ability to send out an online itinerary. So there's a link that's going to be sent to the customer as part of that proposal when they receive their proposal sent through to them, with a Google map of any products that they might have booked, which they can drill down and see where they're located. They've got images which they can scroll through for the whole trip, and then see day-by-day itinerary, and jump down into that and have a look and see what's actually included on a day-by-day basis for them as part of that itinerary. Right now, they can communicate back to us directly from here, and we're also just shortly adding a call to action in here, so they're actually going to be able to confirm and pay for that trip in here as well. So part of the whole.
Phil, we lost your audio then briefly.
Just for 1 second.
Am I back?
Yes, you are, Phil. You're back.
Okay. Well, that's probably the meeting telling me that I'd hit the end of my spots. So yeah, that's a little bit of a preview of some of the things we've been up to in Sunstone. So I'm gonna stop sharing here and pass it back to the guys to pick it up.
Brilliant. Thanks, Phil. So we've just got 2 more slides that we're going to try and share again as Teams just lets us work our way through. So Phil, let us know when you can see the right slide, if that would be okay. So yeah, we just have, as I said, 2 more slides. So this one that should just be coming up on your screen now. Are we there? Can you see that, Phil? Yeah. Perfect. We should be sharing. So this slide just gives a little bit more detail around some of Travel Studio's capabilities. We've obviously shown you, or just sort of scratched the surface today, but we thought it was worth putting this up just to bring it to life a little bit more. So I suppose if you think about how Travel Studio operates and how travel companies operate, the top of the slide here really is around supply management, which Phil showed all of you very briefly. So obviously Travel Studio can manage direct contracts, allocations, complex pricing models, help with yield management. And it also has, as Phil was saying, a channel management API and obviously connectivity to third-party products. What we didn't talk about today as well is that we're also integrated to all the main GDSs that allow you to pull flight content straight into Travel Studio as well. So the middle part then talks around building and creating packages. We showed you briefly our FIT, drag and drop itinerary builder, but Travel Studio also has a groups module and also supports the construction of pre-built packages as well. And all 3 of these are out of the box. Again, on the distribution front, so we've got that under sales channels here. We've shown you the user interface used by internal teams, so that would be sales agents, commercial and operational teams and managers. Travel Studio also has out-of-the-box web tools for both B2B and B2C online sales, and complex APIs as well for those of you that might be interested in developing your own front end. So we've got examples of some of our customers who do that today. And we also have the ability, as you'd expect, to accept payments through all of those channels directly into Travel Studio as well. So we've got a payment gateway for that. Lastly, once that sale is made, and again, we didn't get a chance to show you this today, but we also have an ops module. So that means you can make sure you manage your bookings properly, confirm elements of those bookings directly with your suppliers, and also facilitate exporting or pushing data into ERP systems. So for example, Sage or QuickBooks as well. We've spoken a bit about Travel Studio, but actually we've got one final slide that talks a little bit more about some of our other products and services here at Open Destinations. So if I just work my way around the screen, Rail Studio. So Rail Studio helps rail companies set up and manage their rail operations. So that's routes, carriages, prices, allocations, and then sell and operate those departures. We've also got Tinnery. So Tinnery is our mobile app that works both B2B and B2C, and that puts itineraries and holiday information in front of the end traveller whilst they're away. It also supports things like chat and has feedback functionality. So that's an app to support people when you're away, when the customer is on holiday. And finally, our business support services, and this is where we provide outsourcing to actually some of the leading travel companies across the globe, where we load and manage contracts, static data and content, as well as providing things like customer service through messaging and WhatsApp as well. We've got a team of about 400 operating out of Goa that do that. So please do ask us about that if you're interested as well. So we have one final slide to close. Have we had any questions come through?
No.
No questions come through. Okay. Well, look, in that case, all that's left for us to say is thank you to all of you for joining us today. As we said at the start, we'll share the slides and a link to the survey in the next couple of days. And if you'd like to know more about Travel Studio and see a demo of more functionalities, obviously a lot more to show you, please either email us. So the email address is sales@opendestinations.com, or go through our website where you can fill in a form and provide us with a bit more information about you, and we'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Anyway, brilliant. Thank you all, and we'll close the webinar there. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.